big stage. And were there a few key points that you really wanted to drive home to the audience that you'd like to repeat? And just as important, was there anything that you learned from on stage that you'd like to share as well?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Such a great pleasure to be on the show. This is one of the best shows on the industry.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So the stage is very interesting, especially we all notice the whole industry going through very interesting time.
Right.
Somewhat difficult time. Right. For everybody.
A shakeup.
A shakeup, right? Which is good
necessary.
Or bad, right? It's necessary. Like it cleans up the industry.
Exactly.
I got the privileges to get on stage with a few industry leaders in this space. They all share very interesting comments. I think one common conclusion is we all very optimistic about the future of the industry. Right. So I think it's very good.
Right. And how do you look at, when you see in the silos, blockchain, Bitcoin, crypto, where do you see the more of the success? If they were all on three pegs and they would bop up and down, over the next 6 months, what would rise above the other in a certain respect?
Right. Well, what we see in the past, right? Well, not too long, the past 6 months, right? What is the problem is a lot of the project, when they pitch about the token economy, is based on a non-existing product, a non-existing community, and a lot of projections and assumption, right? So I think now we're back to the basic and core. I think we should pay attention to companies or projects that have the real products, real community, right?
Novel idea. I would think that from our lessons learned from Silicon Valley, good and bad lessons learned, that when you walk into accelerators or incubators, they ask about your product. It's very few that have a successful team, and if they've had a successful team, they've had a product that they can build and speak to. Even if the products in the future, they can pull off of their success. And I find that you don't see that as much. But with the shakedown, what you're finding is those who had a true business plan, right? A strategy. Some didn't even have a product. Again, and to CoinStreet's benefit, a great community behind them. And they were able to excel. And with this shakedown, we see them here now. It's really nice to see.
Absolutely right. Like what happened last year, a lot of the company come out, raise fund, they don't really have a business plan. It's all just a token sales plan. Right?
Exactly. It was a big a play, and I hesitate almost to say this, but we needed it. We needed it because it was almost the hype cycle to the reality of what's going on. So it brought a lot of attention. World Economic Forum, you saw a lot of representation in the blockchain world, the Bitcoin world, and cryptocurrencies. And the adoption, the mental adoption was substantial, especially in the World Economic Forum, right? What changes are you seeing that will be more positive that we should look out for in the next 6 months in the blockchain world, the world of blockchain?
Well, I think definitely on the regulation side, right? I think what happened last year, the industry moved so fast.
Right.
A lot of the regulator really trying to get the head around, what is this thing, right? In order to think about the strategy and the optimal way to regulate it, right? I think in the beginning there's a whole school of thoughts about a revolution in the whole world.
Right.
But we all live in a regulated world. We need some kind of structure. Right. So on one hand there's some good ideology, but we live in the regulated world. I think we'll meet in the middle in a hybrid model. I think in the coming months, hopefully we see some of the major jurisdiction will have more clarity on the guideline and the regulation, what could be done and cannot be done. Once we have that, then the big players, right, the institution, they're more comfortable to come in, and that will be a great driving force and fuel to the sector.
How do you feel about the big companies adopting, and IBM adopting blockchain, Microsoft? These guys are adopting is that helping the overall industry? Do they seem like they're just trying to catch up? Or do you think that, again, that will help us in the overall industry that's more focused? Do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely the whole industry is moving forward. What we've seen now seems the industry is moving into two stream.
Okay.
Not necessarily opposite, it could be complementary to each other. So what we have seen is one stream is really focused on a decentralized technology, right? A decentralized database, how to make use of blockchain, just in the business process.
Right.
They don't care about token economy. They don't care about fundraising. Right. They're probably public companies, right? But there's another stream is about Internet of Value. We're still using the technology to create a cryptocurrency, a tradable tokens, and that could be an economy by itself, right? And interestingly, with the first stream about the decentralized technology, and they don't necessarily need a token. Right. But on the other hand, we see this Internet of Value token economy.
The tokenomics, right?
Now is starting to look into hybrid technology that is not totally decentralized.
And
it's like a hybrid.
I'm glad you said that, because I think that the increase, the scale, the mass adoption scale will come from a hybrid. Because you cannot, there's certain things that are just not applicable. It's not, to lack of a word, it's just not an intelligent business decision to make everything decentralized. Everything doesn't need to be on the blockchain. How many times have we said that to the folks?
Well, and there's a lot of inefficient to completely decentralized system as well.
Exactly.
Right. For example, when you send a Bitcoin, over the internet or whatever, if it lost, it's lost.
You have speed, you have time, you lost. So and we spoke about you spoke about revolution, right? It's interesting when you revolt. We won, we fought thee. But there will still be a new regime in command. You didn't topple down and we all can run free. There will always be a leader. There will always be a consortium, a panel of folks. It's what you want to do is not have a revolution with government. You want to let the government know that they're here to protect your freedom. And the best way for them to protect your freedom is to investigate what's happening with these companies, blockchain, crypto, Bitcoin, and letting us know the best practices that you see and making sure they're not predatory against us, but give us our ability to do whatever we want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say instead of revolution, it's more the evolution.
Thank you.
Right?
It's the we are anarchists for an evolution.
Yes.
Right?
And once we create new opportunity, there's new need, new demand, there will be new player coming up.
What is CoinStreet doing to increase this evolution?
Well, we are like an investment bank in the crypto world. So we facilitate companies to get funded, help them to be successful in the industry. We have a technology background as well, so we're not totally financial. We can help them on the technology side. I was involved in the .com during the 1999.
Oh, you had your war wounds from that, huh?
So we have seen the boom and bust, but eventually, as we learn today, is also a hybrid model of the digital economy.
Right.
So I think that might be the way to go as well.
So as a bank, when you look at folks categorizing, tokenizing different assets as new, how do you look at that? How do you perceive that?
Right. Well, now many people talk about the topics of STO, security token offerings. Right. But some people actually argue that's not actually a token. Because essentially what they're doing is they put a lot of the asset, the record on the ledger. And this ledger happened to be on the blockchain. It's not in the sense of a token like a token of Ether coin or a token of Ripple, the use in the system.
It's a token as a doorway entry. In essence, in that respect, right?
But no matter how you call it, but it is evolution, right, Larry? Because now we can put a lot of record on a public record, right? And it's transferable, it's cross-border. right? People can now trade asset like trading forest, right? Of course, there need to be new regulation to make this all proper.
How are you dealing with cross-border remittance and blockchain?
Well, blockchain is on the public. If you use a public blockchain, is borderless by nature, right?
How are you viewing it as a bank?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Okay,
I should have started it with that.
Yeah, that's good. So the way I see it, okay, being a bank and doing banking is two different things.
Okay. All right.
The way we're going to do banking in the future will be very different.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And the role of a traditional bank will evolve. Right? As we see today, even.
But we're seeing the resistance, though.
Since the .com, right?
We're seeing the resistance.
Exactly. And bank today is very different from the banks before the .com, before internet, right?
Absolutely.
Now the banks, before is all about deposit taking, lending money. Right now is about online stock trading, you know, like wealth management.
Absolutely.
A lot of different business model integrated because of the digital economy and make it feasible, right? In the future, I'm sure the blockchain will open up new opportunities.
So I'm wondering if bankers will become your new digital technology financial concierge.
It could be. Absolutely, yeah.
That's how that's the evolution of it, and the many triggers that you have to pull to get the most out of it. It's been pretty interesting. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Great to sit down and talk with you.
Thank you very much.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.